The Silicon Valley model is evolving. With AI, you no longer need millions of dollars to bring your big ideas to life. Welcome to the era of the experimental solopreneur. In the startup model created in Silicon Valley, building a tech company looks like this.
We've seen incredible user engagement. To really capitalize on this momentum, we're looking for $5 million to expand the team and accelerate development.
You have a big idea, pitch it to the venture investors willing to put capital in big technology bets. You get funded, hire expensive engineers, and use the cash as fast as possible towards a moonshot or a complete wipeout. And most of the time, it is a wipeout. Almost all startup projects fail, but occasionally one hits the jackpot and a new technology company is born through a successful IPO. But change is coming. AI makes implementing and validating new ideas faster and easier. AI agents can write code. I don't need to hire software developers and marketers. If that's the case, do I really need money from investors? Can't I just do everything by myself using AI? The answer is mostly yes. Today I will share insights and actionable advice so you can exercise permissionless innovation and bring your entrepreneurial ideas to life. The rise of AI will disrupt many careers, but will also create a different avenue for professional development that does not involve getting a boring job in a large company. So let's dive in. Welcome to AI Skill Pivot, a CareerZCast series preparing you for the adoption of AI in the workplace. Strategic Rebel versus Silicon Valley. In episode 5, we discussed the playbook for Gen Z to engage positively with a corporate job instead of quiet quitting, mastering the system and changing it from the inside out. I call the hero in that journey the strategic rebel. But bypassing the old structures and rebuilding companies from scratch is a faster way to change the world. If you aspire to be an entrepreneur and own your professional destiny, this episode is for you. Your generation has already demonstrated the alternative entrepreneurial spirit in the side hustle culture, the drive to create unconventional sources of income without necessarily detracting you from the traditional schools and job path. For example, in social media, there is a new creator economy that is disrupting how corporate marketing is done. But could Silicon Valley be disrupted in a similar way? Stakes are high, and VC investors are mostly older millennials and Gen Xers who are at odds with the needs and desires of your generation. They are pushing for a hardcore work culture where company goals supersede individual needs. Well, AI is the enabler to a new class of solopreneurs that can circumvent the grip of gatekeepers on the control over the innovation process. So let's see how the traditional Silicon Valley startup model works so that we can break it. You might be a dreamer aspiring to build a tech startup. You develop the idea on your own personal time and eventually leave your day job, do some prototyping, pitch the project to investors. You get funded and now you lead a VC-funded startup. With the funds, you hire developers, build a product, and validate it in the market. Against the odds, you grow fast and get a successful exit, either through an IPO or a company acquisition. You make money, employees make money, investors make a lot of money, and everyone is happy. The problem with this model is that the failure rate is stratospheric, with less than one success for each 20 VC-funded projects. The all or nothing bet can be exciting, but it is a high-stakes casino. If you didn't have the network to get that first multi-million check, your idea stayed on a napkin. But AI just hacked the casino. Artificial intelligence tools enable permissionless innovation by reducing the time and cost needed to create a tech product so that a brave and ambitious dreamer can create a business without a check and without necessarily dropping school or a job. The strategic rebels who decide to become entrepreneurs will become experimental solopreneurs first. They might solve a business problem for a single company, or maybe they create a niche application that gets a small following. Dreams can become side hustles and viable companies without the need to go big or to get VC investment. Of course, some of those will become scalable business models that can go big. Investors are always looking for ways to make more money, so this does not break the Silicon Valley startup model, just reduces the barrier of entry and pushes the entire ecosystem upwards. Simple business solutions will be built by experimental solopreneurs. The demand for more complex solutions will grow to absorb the growing capabilities of technology. VC investors will continue to enable that scaling up for projects that can have an even bigger impact in the world. The pivot: be the experimental solopreneur. In the future, every career professional will need to pivot skills we are exploring in this series. Embrace the technology, climb the value stack, learn to think holistically, express authenticity in a productive way, and follow the strategic rebel hero's journey. So make sure to review the previous episodes in this series. In addition to all of that, aspiring entrepreneurs will need to be familiar and develop a network with the startup ecosystem. Yes, things are changing, but there are best practices on creating a new business, and you should learn from the mistakes my generation made. So don't just study startups. Join a Discord of builders, connect with other entrepreneurs, and treat your first AI agent project like a lab experiment, not as a term paper. And lastly, innovation requires exploring new paths, not limited by what your parents, professors, and managers tell you to do. So experiment, learn, and do more. Find a mentor, someone who has created companies, and learn from them. Marcio's Career Insight. In my career, most startup projects failed, but I got a few successful exits. Now, as a technology investor, I get to experience the other side of the pitch table. A question that comes up often is whether or not AI will eventually displace all work done by humans. CEOs of AI companies will disagree, but we are very far from an AI that will make humans irrelevant. I was a senior technology director in the largest AI company in the market, so I know about large language models, the underlying technology to what we call artificial intelligence today. LLMs are the ultimate map of everywhere humanity has already been. They can take you to the top of any existing hill, but they can't see the mountain that doesn't exist yet. Innovation is not about getting to the top of the hill. It is about exploring new paths. That's where your human judgment comes in. AI builds the road, you pick the destination. So, AI cannot touch you. Go on looking for the taller mountains to climb, use AI as a tool, and become an experimental solopreneur. Conclusion and call to action. The Silicon Valley startup model is not dead, but it is no longer the only way. In the next decades, you can work and develop a successful career outside the corporate world, and that does not require you to play the high-stakes venture capital all or nothing game. As a strategic rebel, use AI, which is your magic sword in the hero's journey, and listen to the wise mentors to build a side hustle that eventually becomes your main hustle, giving you the ultimate prize: ownership. If you're ready to stop being just an employee and start being an owner, hit that subscribe button now. I am Marcio, and this is AI Skill Pivot. I will see you in the next episode of CareerZCast.